Introduction: The Power of Meditation. In the opening of Real Happiness, Sharon Salzberg invites readers into the transformative world of meditation, not as a mystical practice, but as a profoundly human tool for inner peace. She breaks down the cultural myths around meditation and replaces them with simple truth. Meditation is training the mind, just like we train our bodies. Sharon's message is empowering. No matter who you are, where you're from, or how chaotic your life feels, you have the capacity to cultivate real happiness within yourself. She introduces mindfulness as the key, paying attention in a particular way, on purpose in the present moment, and without judgment. The goal is not to escape life, but to show up more fully in it. From the start, Sharon assures us that we don't need to be perfect meditators. We just need to begin. Week 1. Concentration. Gathering the scattered mind. The first week focuses on concentration, the foundation of meditation. Sharon explains that our minds are naturally busy, jumping from one thought to another, but through gentle focus, we can gather this scattered attention. The core practice introduced here is mindful breathing, simply sitting and bringing attention back to the breath again and again. She emphasizes the importance of being kind to ourselves when we get distracted. Distraction isn't failure, it's part of the path. By training ourselves to return to the breath, we begin to reclaim our attention. The lesson is clear: concentration brings clarity and stability. Just like exercising a muscle, our ability to focus strengthens over time. Week 2. Mindfulness and the body. Anchoring in the now. In the second week, we deepen into mindfulness through awareness of the body. Sharon encourages us to feel our bodies from within, noticing sensations, tension, and relaxation. This is where we truly begin to live in the present moment. Through body scans and mindful walking, we learn how the body speaks to us when we slow down and listen. She explains that our culture often encourages disconnection from the body, especially in times of stress or pain. But when we bring mindful attention to physical experience, even discomfort becomes workable. We stop fighting ourselves. The lesson here is that presence in the body leads to groundedness, and groundedness opens the door to wisdom. Week 3. Mindfulness and emotions. Meeting our feelings with kindness. Week 3 turns inward to explore emotions. Sharon's teaching is compassionate. We are not our feelings, but we can learn from them. She invites us to observe our emotional experiences with gentle curiosity: fear, anger, joy, sorrow, letting them rise and fall like waves without pushing them away or clinging to them. A key practice introduced is naming, "This is sadness," or "This is excitement." This labeling helps create space between us and our emotions, allowing us to respond rather than react. She also introduces loving-kindness meditation, cultivating compassion for ourselves and others. The lesson is that mindfulness helps us relate to emotions with kindness and balance, instead of judgment or suppression. Week 4. Mindfulness and thoughts. Becoming the witness. In Week 4, we examine our thoughts. Sharon shows how we often mistake our thoughts for facts. She reminds us that thoughts are just events in the mind, passing clouds, not the sky itself. By observing our thinking patterns, we begin to see how much of our suffering is self-created through rumination and judgment. Through mindfulness, we can learn to step back from thoughts instead of getting lost in them. The practice becomes: notice the thought, name it, planning, judging, remembering, and return to the breath. This shift, from being consumed by thoughts to simply observing them, is liberating. The core lesson is this: freedom begins when we see that we are not our thoughts. Week 5. Loving kindness, the heart of real happiness. Loving kindness, or metta practice, is central to Sharon's teaching. She introduces phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be safe," "May I be healthy," "May I live with ease," and encourages us to extend them to others. This practice softens our hearts and dissolves the barriers we build between ourselves and others. She explains that loving kindness isn't about forcing a feeling. It's about planting the seeds of goodwill. Over time, these seeds grow into compassion, resilience, and deep inner peace. Sharon shares personal stories of transformation and how loving kindness heals wounds of the past. The lesson is powerful. Real happiness blossoms from connection and kindness, not isolation or perfection. Challenges and obstacles. Facing resistance. Sharon devotes an entire section to the common struggles of meditation: boredom, sleepiness, restlessness, self-judgment. She normalizes these experiences, explaining that obstacles are not signs of failure, but essential parts of the path. In fact, how we meet these challenges determines how deep our practice can go. She encourages us to bring the same mindfulness to difficulty as we do to the breath. By acknowledging resistance without giving in to it, we strengthen our resolve and deepen our awareness. The lesson is that real happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to relate wisely to them. Everyday mindfulness, bringing the practice to life. Meditation doesn't end on the cushion. Sharon urges us to bring mindfulness into our daily lives, while eating, walking, speaking, listening. She calls this meditation in action. Whether we're in traffic, doing dishes, or having a tough conversation, we can come back to the present moment with awareness and care. She also shares how mindfulness transforms relationships. When we're present, we become better listeners, more empathetic and less reactive. We learn to pause before responding, which can change the entire course of a conversation or conflict. The lesson is that mindfulness is not a retreat from life. It's a full-hearted engagement with it. Sustaining the practice, building a lifelong habit. Toward the end of the book, Sharon offers encouragement for building a long-term practice. She recommends starting small, just a few minutes a day, and being consistent. She emphasizes community, teachers, and retreats as helpful supports. But most of all, she urges us to keep returning to the practice, again and again, with patience and love. She writes, "The point is not to try to become a perfect meditator, but to live more fully and compassionately. Meditation is not about fixing ourselves, but befriending ourselves. The lesson is that sustained practice is an act of love, and over time, this love transforms everything." Conclusion: the true nature of real happiness. Sharon Salzberg concludes with a beautiful reflection on what real happiness means. It's not fleeting pleasure or external success.
It's an inner freedom, a sense of connection to ourselves,
To others, and to life itself. Through mindfulness and loving kindness, we discover that happiness is not something we chase, it's something we uncover within. In her closing words, she offers a final invitation to trust our capacity for transformation, to return to ourselves with compassion, and to know that no matter how far we've wandered, we can always begin again. And that is the heart of real happiness by Sharon Salzberg, a timeless guide to meditation and the art of living with presence, kindness, and courage. Whether you're just starting your meditation journey or looking to deepen it, this book reminds us that the path to peace is already within us. All we have to do is pause, breathe, and begin again.